single mom stories. Because sometimes you really need to hear that there's another single mom just like you who's unfortunately, well, I'm just going to say it, who's been through hell too, but is finding a way to dig herself out and focus on the positive. This is the episode that I am so excited for you to hear. If you are in one of those moments, like, I don't know how I am going to do this, you're going to remember this episode every time you're in one of those moments, because you're going to remember, if Miranda can get back on her feet, then I can too. Miranda's here with me. She's a fellow brave single mom that I met on a phone call, used to live in the same town I live in, Sacramento. Now she's in North Carolina. She's about to share with you her single mom story. Yes, it starts very dark, but I want you to hear what she's doing now and how she's not focusing on the past and instead designing her future. Miranda, thank you so much. I'm so glad you took the time out to come on the Brave Single Moms podcast to tell your story. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I love it how a lot of podcasters, like, they try to get like big celebrities on their podcast. And I'm like, I think the biggest celebrities are the brave single moms that are doing it, that are doing all the things, you know? So glad to see you. So tell me, what is your story of victory? That's what I want to focus on. What have you become victorious from?
Well, I know God did it all because I don't know where I'd be. In February of 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was fully on my left side. Yeah. When I went in, we had to do a double mastectomy, did all that. Well, while I was still fighting cancer and going through chemo after my surgeries, on my mom's birthday, I was telling my ex-husband at the time, my husband, that my brother was filing for divorce. And he looked at me and said, well, I guess it's 3 for 3, because my youngest brother had already filed for divorce for his wife, who was in a bad relationship. And he looked at me and I said, well, 3 for 3. And I was just floored, thinking, really? And he wanted to wait until after Christmas to tell the kids, which at the time they were only 2 and 4. So they were young. And so we waited until after Christmas. At first I thought the biggest part was, how am I going to live in this house, be this mom, finish my chemo, and live with this man who just, you know, put it so easily for him. And it was very hard. I never thought how I was going to make it. But after that January, I moved out into an apartment, and God brought me another single mom. And no joke, she came by to check out the apartment complex and asked me how it was to see for her to move in. And I told her it's very quiet. It was a great little area, you know, very low key. And she ended up becoming one of my best friends. And now we have our own little tribe / village, we call it. Like it. And we take care of each other. And it's so amazing. It has been the best thing ever. And then also in that apartment complex, the office manager, she had breast cancer. And I had talked a lot with her when I was going through my stuff, when she was helping me get into the apartment complex. And it was amazing. Like, I was able to be there for her. She really didn't have any family here. So I really felt that in the hardest part that I thought I would never make it through in my life, God provided. And he showed me, this is not it. There's more people that you can help. You can be there for other people, because he knew that if I took it off of myself and I looked at other people to help, I could get through it a lot better. And I have.
I call that like the pride. You know, it's like the lioness.
Yes.
group. There's like all the lionesses. Is it plural?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. The lionesses, I might be saying that the wrong way. But they work together as a team to raise their
Yeah.
families. And I have
Mm-hmm.
always thought that's what single moms do. Like
Yeah.
that's what we should all have, that single mom best friend that lives down the street or around the corner or in our same complex that can help us. So I'm so sorry what you've been through, and it's not fair. And I'm so inspired. Help us understand now, what are you doing now to heal? How's your health right now? And what are you doing now to bounce back?
Well, I'm still single. Try
That's okay.
dating.
Yeah.
It's been a nightmare. Not
It's hard.
easy.
Yeah.
But I do set like side jobs to help, cover expenses. I have always been very crafty in sewing, so I've made lots of different things to sell.
Okay.
So I do that. And I also do like Instacart. On the weekends, I'm
Hmm.
free because I have 50-50 custody. So there's other ways to help make up for that, but
Yeah.
it's all working out.
How old are
And
your
I've got a
kids?
great job.
Good.
They are 15 and 11.
Okay. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So, what is it about you? Because I talk to single moms in my metamorphosis method coaching program all day, every single day, about not giving so much power to what happened in the past
Mm-hmm.
because you're wasting your energy. And I feel like you have figured out a way to do that. Like so much of us, and I was there too. I admit
Mm-hmm.
I get there too. And sometimes I still dip into it and I have to convince myself, no, don't give any kind of power to all the past negativity.
Right.
Instead, don't waste that energy. Instead, use it to be a positive power to design
Mm-hmm.
your future. What is it about you that was able to make that turn and not be like, well, that's it. I'm going to quit. I'm just going to stop. Instead, you're doing Instacart. You've got a job. You're doing side gigs. You're growing your tribe. What's the difference of you?
Well, keeping my faith in God,
Yeah.
keeping that has been the biggest part. And also it's my kids. They keep me going. And anytime anything would come up in my health, it was like, all right, let's just do what we got to do because I got to get out of here and be there for my kids. And God's brought me every time. So I can't, I've had a lot of scary parts where I thought I was going to die, and I've had three in my life. And so, after this, I'm like, well, anything if I'm going to make it. But I mean, just my kids, they keep me going, and just wanting to live my best life is the best thing I can do to move on.
You're future focused.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I say. And I get that. So you found your why. Okay, brave
Yeah.
single mom listening right now. This is one of the things I teach in Metamorphosis Method is the power of finding your why. And I got this because when I was going through a divorce a long time ago, my therapist had me read this book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. Highly recommend it. It will change your life. It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
And in that book, there's a line and it says, "He who has a why to live can bear any how." And the whole book, it's actually about the Holocaust. And it's about the ones that survived had a why on the outside of the concentration camp, the ones that were in the concentration camp. One wanted to go play the piano. One was just in love with his wife and had to see her again, and they were separated. So he who has a why to live can bear any how. And like you, after I read that book, I made my children my why. I mean, my absolute everything. I call them my sunshines because they make me happy when skies are gray. And that's the song that I would sing to them because that was the reason why I woke up in the morning.
Right.
That was the reason why I chased down a dream job and moved us to California, because I didn't want to move back with my parents.
Yeah.
I was a stay-at-home mom when I became a single mom, but I wanted to carve out a life, and they were my why. So I love it that you did that and you found your why. Do you also do this? One of the tactics that when I get really overwhelmed in the moment, because I'm sure you still have your moments like, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Then that's the only time I ever recommend looking at your past. And it's not looking at the bad things, but it's looking at, wait a second. I've gotten through worse before, and I'm going to be able to do it again. Like, am I still okay today? Yes, you're still okay today. Right. So do you keep a journal, or do you have any processes every morning that help you stay focused like that?
Not like on a daily basis. I know on the weekends when I've had my kids for the week and I'm exhausted, and by that Friday night I go home and I just like soak in all the good things that we did, how we got to spend our time, how we got to, whatever we needed to do, whatever we've got coming up, and just looking forward to that and kind of just relaxing because it's a lot, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No. What do your kids say? I bet you're just a hero to them.
I'm pretty sure.
Do they get it? Sometimes my teenagers, I'm like, someday you're going to understand.
Yeah. My son does.
Your son, yeah.
He saw everything that I went through. My daughter was too young to know.
Yeah.
But she gets it.
That's nice.
But they know. Every time
Go ahead.
Oh. Even just every week when I get them back, they just come to me and hug me and almost knock me over, and it's just like I know they've had a good time with their week with their dad and their step siblings and all that, but they like to just come home and relax with mom.
Don't you love that? Yeah, I love that moment.
That's my favorite.
Yep. That is beautiful. So what is it? So we're working on being future focused, not allowing the negative energy from the past to affect our present and affect our future. So what is your future focused? What is it that you're working towards? What is it that you dream of and want for your single mom life?
I just got back into my creativity and my love for sewing again this last month. And I actually haven't been even wanting to sew in over a year. And that I love making things like purses, wallets, keychains, all sorts of stuff. And my people at my work, they're awesome. They love to buy stuff from me, and I will set up in the kitchen at work for Christmas, and people can buy stuff to make or get for gifts and stuff like that. I would love to have my stuff in a boutique or something where I could just be sewing and creating all day, or going to farmers markets and be selling and actually sell.
I just got chills. Like I can see your booth at the farmer's market and like everyone wanting and like really excited to see you at the farmer's market. Do you put it on Etsy, or where do you put it?
I haven't. I tried Etsy years ago. That's a little harder. But I have a date. December 1st, they have the Christmas craft fair at the farmer's market in Shelby.
Yes.
So my friend and I are going to, my mom friend is going to come with me, and we're going to sit at the booth from 9 to 1 and sell as much, whatever I've got.
I love this. Like I'm obsessed. Okay. So you got to do me a favor and send us some pictures. Yes. Whether on my Instagram, maybe you can share them on your Instagram and tag me or something. Okay. With some of your things, and so we can see them, and so brave single moms that maybe want to support you can do that.
Awesome.
do that and be like, yes, I want this. I want to support. Because that's what my vision for Brave Single Moms is a community of brave single moms supporting each other, being cheerleaders, and someday getting matching jackets. You know, why not?
I'm so there with the jacket.
So what would you say to a fellow brave single mom who maybe is just in the beginning, who's gotten that news, who's going through a divorce and, you know, probably not what she wanted, or maybe it is what she wanted and she's scared to death?
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to her?
I would encourage them to, you know, be in a church, find your friends and let them be there for you. And that this is just going to go by so fast. Yeah. Don't be overwhelmed, even though I know it's easy right now, but this is just a small part of your life.
Yeah. Sometimes I say it's just a plot twist.
Yes, and I love that.
I mean, and what is the best part of the movie?
Right, where the plot twist. Yeah.
And which do you know who is the hero of the story and the villain? The one that handles the plot twist the best.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So understand that you're creating your hero story in this moment. And you have the choice when you're presented with the plot twist to give up. And Miranda could have given up. She had breast cancer. She was undergoing chemo, had a double mastectomy when her husband decided he wanted a divorce. It is not fair. I want to stomp on the ground and stomp my feet for you. But she didn't let that define her. Instead, she's living this great life, and you're getting side gigs, and you've got a side hustle, and you're creating things. And I mean, what would you say is the difference of your life now and your joy level from when you were in that relationship?
Wow.
Would you say you're a different person, happier person?
I am so a different person. Everyone I see who knew me before then, it's like I've become a better person in the end. I really have.
And that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. Anything else that you wanted to share with brave single moms, Miranda?
Don't give up. Don't let them win. By moving on, you're winning.
That's
really
beautiful. It is. Future focus.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I cannot wait to see your designs, and I will share them with you, our fellow brave single moms.
I will tag you on Instagram.
Yes. I can't wait. Thank you.
Thanks.